Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. So the purpose of today's video is to say something very painful, and that is stop buying pin routers. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you probably know that I am one of the biggest proponents of pin routers, especially my beloved pin router, this Jet POR 22-1. And it's a great tool. There's stuff that you can do with it that you can't do with any other tools. And it's really a shame that they don't make this model anymore. In fact, I don't think Jet makes any pin routers anymore. So I guess what I'm driving at is for all the people who are calling me and asking me, hey, I found this old pin router, should I get it? I'm gonna say no, unless you do some homework, okay? If you are buying a brand new pin router, great, do that. But buying a used pin router can be a problem. I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the pitfalls here in this video. So a little bit of background story. This pin router came from the OME Banjo company in Boulder, Colorado. Don't look for it, it's long gone. But when I bought this, I talked to the lady who was the daughter of the guy who owned the company, and she said, boy, I remember when we moved this tool in and it got used a handful of times, and then after a while it kind of got piled up with junk and nobody used it ever again. So this one's in pretty good shape. Okay, actually it's in excellent shape. However, it was made in the early to mid 80s. And so all of the pneumatic lines, all the air lines, all that other stuff are cracked and broken, and I had to replace them all, which meant I had to disassemble the whole machine that I had no idea how to disassemble, because in the manual it says don't disassemble this. Go to a service, have a service tech come out and do it. There's no service tech for these, so you're your own first responder on these pin routers. So I had to pull the whole machine apart, find where the lines went, replace them one at a time with brand new line, brand new fittings, brand new everything. And after I did that, it took a couple of months to get it because I was working a day job at the time. After I did all that stuff, then the pin router ran great. So it was an investment. It cost a lot of money, and it cost a lot of money to move it to my shop, and I couldn't even use it for the first couple of months because I had to rebuild the thing. So there's a handful of other little pieces in here. This pneumatic ram stop had to be rebuilt. The seals had to be redone and new fluid put in there. These flat drive belts, you can't just call up Grainger and get a new flat drive belt. I had to have this one custom made. So I had to take my existing belt down to a guy who did drive belts, custom sized drive belts here in I don't even remember the name of the shop. And I had him make me a bunch of them. So it's cool, I have one, but I've had people go, hey man, where do I get drive belts? I had to have mine custom made. The other thing is, it is possible that your pin router that you find may or may not come with all the accessories. So one of the accessories that you need to have are these pins. Now this is the original one. It's got this kind of black oxide, I don't know what it is, coating. And this is one that I had made. Now, if you're a machinist or you know a machinist, it's no big shake to turn something like this on a lathe to work in your pin router. Matter of fact, I had a bunch of pins custom made. This one here is an 1/8 inch pin. But I was fortunate, mine came with all the pins, the 1/4, the 1/2, and the 3/8. It also came with all the collets, the 1/4, the 1/2, and the 3/8. Now, guys, if your pin router that you want to buy doesn't come with these collets, I would say walk, run, never go back, unless you can get it for like scrap metal prices, okay? Without these collets, you're basically dead in the water. I'm not suggesting, do not hear that nobody can make these, but I don't know anyone who can make these. I'm sure somebody can. But here's what I do know. You can't just call up Jet and say, hey, I need a collet for a POR 22-1 because they don't have them, okay? The other thing is I would avoid the previous models to the POR 22-1. Let me show you what one of those looks like. So this is an original POR 22. You can see it on the old tag there. Now this one came from Nashville, Tennessee, and you can probably see some damage and some rust. Most of the pin routers that you will find look kind of like this. There's parts missing. This is Brian Nutter's old pin router, and there's no way this thing ever ran when he had it. The other thing is the pins fit on a slightly different pin assembly. I'm going to show you the one that you want to get. This is basically a drill chuck that, boy, I don't know if I can get this in. Again, guys, first day with the new camera, but the pins actually go into a drill chuck and have to be tightened up just like you would a regular drill, as opposed to the new style, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. So this pin router could potentially be used for bearing bits and bits that have bushings and things like that. But I don't believe that this pin router will ever be used in the same capacity that my original jet can be used in. So remember what I was telling you about the old school, the way that the old pins go in? The new ones just kind of plop right in, and you can switch back and forth from different pin sizes very, very easily. The other cool thing about this setup is it can be raised and lowered, and that means that you can use different step templates. You can easily move the pin out of the way and get the cutter out of the piece fast if you need to. But you'll also notice there's no rust. This is just sawdust. There's no rust on this machine. It's basically in perfect condition compared to the one that I just showed you. Now, if you've got your heart set on a pin router and you don't mind buying a new one, these Grizzlies are actually a pretty decent deal. This one is the G8030, and it's very, very close to the Jet pin router. I mean, it's got like the controls are in the same spot. The crank goes backward from the way the Jet goes, and it's in millimeter instead of inches. But basically, this tool is identical to the Jet. And if you can work the Jet, you can work this one. This also does have a cool feature. It has a brake on it. And the coolest feature of all is that if you lose any parts, it's no big deal to get new ones. Okay. Now it doesn't have the automatic, or it doesn't have the easy up and down feature, but the pins do have a cool feature. This one has 1/2 inch on one side and 3/8 on the other. So each pin has 2 different sizes that it can do. So that's a cool thing. And it's a good way to get a new pin router without all the headaches associated. You don't have to rebuild this one, in other words. So anyway, guys, it pains me to say this, but I fear that I've made so many videos exclaiming how wonderful pin routers are, and I think they're all gone. I think that all the good ones are gone, or they're all way too much money or something, or people think they've got something that's awesome, and as it turns out, they don't. It's they've got something that kind of sucks. So stop looking to buy a pin router, and maybe there's another tool out there that's gonna be. I don't know what it is. That's the problem. I don't know. The pin routers are so good at what they do, but I fear that looking for something that is awesome and is really old, and they don't make any parts for it anymore. It's just fraught with peril. I suppose that if you got an overarm pin router, you could do things with it that you couldn't do otherwise, but I would think a good router table is probably where you should start first. Really excellent routers, a mill maybe, but a pin routing, now don't hear this. Don't hear run out and buy a CNC machine, because the CNC machine, for all the neat stuff that it doesn't do all the same neat stuff that a pin router does as easily as a pin router does it, okay? There's a much steeper learning curve on a CNC machine. You don't have to take my word for it. Ask Steve at Maximum Guitar Works, or ask Chris. I don't know how to use a CNC machine. I'm too old. Okay, so anyway, gang, again, it pains me to say this, but stop looking for and stop buying old crappy CNC machines. Stop looking for and stop buying old crappy pin routers. If you can find a really good deal on an old one that has all the parts and you can see it run, yeah, man, I guess so. But if you're gonna buy a new one, cool, thumbs up, happy meal for you. You'll be happy. I have talked to so many people though that have old pin routers that aren't any good, and they're disappointed. So I'm just gonna save you some disappointment. And none of you are gonna listen to me. You're gonna go, you're wrong, man. I'm gonna buy a pin rod, I'm gonna fix it up. Cool. I wish you all the luck in the world, and I hope you do. I really do hope that you do. But yeah, I think what you're going to find is you're going to find some old decrepit hunk of turd, and it's going to sit in the corner much like that old jet right over there is. That's been in the shop here for, I don't know, 2-3 years, and it's never run. So yeah, I wish it did, but it doesn't. So anyway, gang, thanks for watching. And again, it pains me to make this video, but if you have any questions about pin routers, please leave them in the comment section below. I am not an authority on pin routers. I'm just a super huge mega fan, and I guess I lucked out because mine works. And if you get one, I hope yours does too. This is a weird video, and it's a good video to do with the brand new camera because I don't even know if it's going to work. I don't even know if it's recording right now. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, this is Matt with Texas Toast, reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see you next time, gang. Have a great week.